The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill. First chapter Friday read aloud video with Word Nerd. Today as you listen, play along. Watch for the story quote that will appear on screen. Write it down, word by word, and then follow the instructions given to you by your teacher. Stick around to see if you've written it down correctly.
Hi, my name is Amanda Zieba. Welcome to my channel, Learning with the Word Nerd, and another First Chapter Friday video. This week, I'm going to be reading to you from The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill, and it might be the very shortest first chapter I've ever shared with you, ever. So to kind of make up for that fact, I'm going to tell you a few other things. Number one, this book won the Newbery Award in 2017. So you can't see it on my cover doesn't have it, but in your library, that copy might have the shiny, beautiful gold sticker on the front telling you that it was the best book published in 2017. The other thing I'll tell you about this book is that it is in the genre of high fantasy. So we know that fantasy stories are made up and include some sort of magic. But when a book is considered or classified as high fantasy, it means like it's super duper fantasy. Like we have made up worlds and magical systems and magical creatures and like kind of intense or maybe a little bit like upper level of fantasy concepts. So if you are a casual fantasy fan, you might not love this book, but if you love fantasy novels, you are definitely going to love this book. Two other things quick I'll tell you about the author, Kelly Barnhill. She's a Midwest girl just like me. She lives in Minnesota, so that's really cool. I always love when I get to find and read things by other Midwest creators. Um, and before Kelly was an author, she had a lot of other jobs, one of which is a teacher, which I also think is really cool because I think that there are a lot of us teachers who dream someday of writing a book, and Kelly has shown us that it is possible. Kelly also writes books for grown-ups. So teachers, if you're looking for the next great read, I would highly recommend When Women Were Dragons, which is also fantasy. So I'm going to read you the blurb about this book. I'm going to read you the very short chapter. And then I'm going to tell you an activity, teachers, that I think you could do with this first chapter that would be a ton of fun in a word nerdy way. So, every year, the people of the Protectorate leave a baby as an offering to the witch who lives in the forest. They hope this sacrifice will keep her from terrorizing their town. But the witch in the forest, Zan, is kind. She shares her home with a wise swamp monster and a perfectly tiny dragon. Zan rescues the children and delivers them to welcoming families on the other side of the forest, nourishing the babies with starlight on their journey. One year, Zan accidentally feeds a baby moonlight instead of starlight, filling the ordinary child with extraordinary magic. Zan decides she must raise this girl, whom she calls Luna, as her own. As Luna's 13th birthday approaches, her magic begins to emerge with dangerous consequences. Meanwhile, a young man from the Protectorate is determined to free his people by killing the witch. Deadly birds with uncertain intentions flock nearby. A volcano, quiet for centuries, rumbles just beneath the Earth's surface. And the woman with the tiger's heart is on the prowl. The author of highly acclaimed award winning novel The Witch's Boy has written an epic coming of age fairy tale destined to be a modern classic. And like I said, the Newbery Committee agreed because they decided that this was the best book written in 2017. So I'm going to read you chapter one of The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill. Um, and what chapter one is a one-sided conversation. It's not a one-sided conversation, but we only get one side of it. You can tell where somebody else is speaking, and you might even be able to guess or imply what that other person is possibly saying. So that's where the activity comes in. I'm going to read you what's on the page, and then I'm going to tell you what I think that activity could be afterwards. Chapter one is called In Which a Story is Told. Yes, there is a witch in the woods. There has always been a witch. Will you stop fidgeting for once, my stars? I have never seen such a fidgety child. No, sweetheart, I have not seen her. No one has, not for ages. We've taken steps so that we will never see her. Terrible steps. Don't make me say it. You already know anyway. Oh, I don't know, darling. No one knows why she wants the children. We don't know why she insists that it must always be the very youngest among us. It's not as though we could just ask her. She hasn't been seen. We make sure that she will not be seen. Of course she exists. What a question. Look at the woods. So dangerous. Poisonous smoke and sinkholes and boiling geysers and terrible dangers every which way. Do you think it is so by accident? Rubbish. It is the witch, and if we don't do as she says, what will become of us? You really need me to explain it to you? I'd rather not. Oh, hush now, don't cry. Don't cry. It's not as though the Council of Elders is coming for you now, is it? You're far too old. From our family? Yes, dearest. Ever so long ago, before you were born. He was a beautiful boy. Now, finish your supper, go do your chores. We'll be able to be up early. We'll all be up early tomorrow. The day of sacrifice waits for no one, and we must be present to thank the child who will save us for one more year. Your brother? How could I fight for him? If I had, the witch would have killed us all, and then where would we be? Sacrifice one or sacrifice all. That is the way of the world. We couldn't change it if we tried. Enough questions. Enough questions. Off with you, you foolish child. And that's the end of chapter 1. And I'm sure that you have many more questions than this child percolating in your brain about what is happening and what's going to happen next. I love this first chapter. It is brilliant because it leaves us wondering oh so much more than if Kelly would have provided the other half of that conversation. And so here's where the activity comes in. Teachers, I would invite you to make a copy of these first 2 pages. It's very short. It's just like a front and a back page. Hold on, let me show you. Just this, right? Just this one page, and then this one page. No, not chapter 2. And wouldn't it be cool for you to have your students imagine what the child is saying to the mother to get those responses? You would be able to practice imagination. You would be able to practice your dialogue writing skills. You'd be able to practice punctuation. You'd be able to practice prediction. All of these awesome skills in this one fun, I know I'm the word nerd, I think it's fun, one fun lesson. More of these chapters, styles of the one-sided conversation pop up through the book. So if they have fun with it, it could be something you repeat. So, all right, that is it. The shortest first chapter ever of my First Chapter Friday videos. The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill. Pick up a copy from your school library, purchase one from your favorite local indie bookstore, or grab it via the link in the video description box, and then come back here again for more First Chapter Fridays. Brain breaks, direct teaching instruction videos. This channel is just growing leaps and bounds, and there's so much goodness here for you. So take a look around, and then I'll see you again next time. Happy reading.
To continue reading The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill, pick up a copy from your school library, purchase one from your favorite local indie bookstore, or grab it via the link in the video description box. Then be sure to check out the rest of the First Chapter Fridays. I've got a playlist with almost 200 middle grade and young adult novels waiting for you to try out. This week's mystery quote says, "Knowledge is power, but it is a terrible power when it is hoarded and hidden." Thanks so much for visiting my channel, Learning with the Word Nerd. I hope you come back again for more First Chapter Fridays, brain breaks, and direct instruction videos. Please like this video and subscribe, and I'll see you again next time. Happy reading.